Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to I don't know what platforms we're on. We're on a few platforms, but welcome to the Dawah Hour. Back again with Stream Islam, with Dawah Motivation, and a couple of other people that were on channels. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been a while, so I'm gonna first of all go to our beloved co-host, my co-host, Brother Nadeem. Salam alaikum, bro.
Salam wa rahmatullah. How you doing, bro? What's happening?
You good? Alhamdulillah, bro. Alhamdulillah.
This is our fake salams because we did a salam just a few seconds back.
Yeah,
show business, show business, yar.
You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about, bro. There's an illusion, yeah. There's an illusion of what's behind the scenes and what's in front of the scenes, isn't it? Anyway,
no, it's good. It's good, man. Dawah has been missed, I think, even though we're so busy, all of us, which is a sign of our times, but. We made some time for Dawah, inshallah, and it's back. Yeah. And I'm not on the phone being rude. I'm actually sharing the link on those socials so inshallah people can join in the fun.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Brothers and sisters, first and foremost, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. This is Farina. How are you? I hope you're well. Salam alaikum to all of you, all of our listeners, all of our viewers. It's been a while. How long has it been?
This is season 3, is it?
Something like that, yeah. Season 3. Man. It's been a while.
I'm not sure. Maybe the producers can tell us how long it's been because they've been kind of following the show as well. But last year Ramadan,
we didn't over a year.
Yeah,
14 months. Producer Saab said 14 months.
Wow. Okay.
So over a year it's been. SubhanAllah. So yeah, I don't know I don't know if you remember anyone who maybe hopefully people who have tuned in or tuning in the same people as before. There he goes, he's gone. We did the Dawah Hour, and one of the episodes on one of the shows on one of the series that we were doing for Dawah Hour was the A to Z of Dawah. All right, Nadeem.
Sorry about that. I thought I'd just test your nerves.
All good. We did the A to Z of Dawah. Okay. Assalamu alaikum, Danny.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Does it, He's a proper technophobe, this kid.
Is that better?
That's better, mate. That's better. I'm just telling everyone that we used to do the Dawah Hour, and one of the big series that we used to do was the A to Z of Dawah. Yeah. So we were going through every letter of the alphabet and relating some aspect of Dawah that was related to the alphabet, that letter. All right. So before I continue, bro, I'll let's go with you, bro. Assalamu alaikum, Danny. How's it going? How are you, Danny?
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And assalamu alaikum to brother Nadeem as well. Nice to see you, brother. Still haven't met you in person, but hopefully will soon.
Salam wa rahmatullah.
Well, Nadeem, next time we do a Dawathon, man, you just have to come up.
Inshallah, definitely. But I was talking to Johnny and them boys. They're planning a little trip from London. I said, reserve a seat. So inshallah.
Inshallah. All right. So, as I mentioned, the Dawah Hour, the A to Z of Street Dawah. We've been doing where we're trying to do A to Z. We stopped at T, and then we stopped. When we stopped, we had a bit of a hiatus of how long was it been? So what? 14 months it's been. Now we're coming back to the show, and inshallah we're going to continue with the letter U.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about Street Dawah, and we're going to talk about Street Dawah specifically on this letter, okay, and the things that are related to this letter. So I'm going to pass it over to you guys. Have you guys got anything for you, first of all?
Yeah, I've got a few.
All right. Go on.
Well, ubiquitous.
Oh, easy.
I don't know. That's the first one.
I don't even know what that means, bro. What does that mean?
It's there's a few meanings, but it's where you are everywhere, basically. So you're in different places, different things. I think
and found everywhere. Ubiquitous.
Yeah. So how we relate to Dawah and Street Dawah, because this is A to Z of Street Dawah, although it's overlapping. Inshallah, I think we'll be allowed to go into general Dawah.
Right.
Well, there's a few ways of looking at it. One is that when you are doing Street Dawah in a particular city, in a particular part of the city, then maybe you can be everywhere, meaning you can have either different have the stall in different places, try different areas where it's more foot flow,
Yeah.
or you can have multiple stalls, you know, or if you could just have the stall there, and I always advise du'at, fine, because some areas, like for example, those boys in Shepherd's Bush, they got a constant stream of people coming to the table, and you get Leicester Square, constant like foot flow comes to the table. But then you get other town cities where you're kind of waiting for the customer, they never come. So you need to be out of the table. So you've got your books there, and maybe one brother there, and then you other brothers in the team need to go everywhere, you know, different places. So be ubiquitous and around the town, the city center, inshallah.
Very, very interesting.
Nadeem, Sohail. So sorry, bro. I just want to ask Brother Nadeem a question. Brother Nadeem, where are you based? Where are you from, and which part of the world are you involved in Dawah in?
Yeah, so I'm in a town called Crawley, bro, which is next to Gatwick Airport in the southeast of England. Okay. But although we, mashallah, finally at last we got not only a Dawah table set up almost on a weekly basis. Alhamdulillah, it's been going on for nearly 2 years now, coming up 2 years in August, and this 2-year consistency has happened after many years. So alhamdulillah, I'm very happy, and the team is a very talented team, mashallah. So I helped set it up, but I'm hardly there myself. I'm actually doing stalls literally all over the gap, bro. Literally all over, alhamdulillah, all over London, all over UK. Like on the weekend, I'll be doing 2 stalls, inshallah. I'll be joining the Bolton team, Bolton Sharif as they call it. And also we're gonna try in Rochdale Town Centre in Lancashire. Nice. And maybe a cheeky little one at Manchester in the city centre, but that's not decided. So yeah, I'm all over the place. But I would say London is where I've done my main trade, bro. Main street Dawah, main Dawah.
Fantastic.
For years. Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah.
Right,
Brother Nadeem, after the show, inshallah, or tomorrow, Brother Husky will speak to you about the potentiality of coming helping us in Newcastle, bro. Because we've got a massive event coming up which we want you to take part in.
We'll talk about that. Danny, you can talk about that in a bit. Yeah, let's stick with
inshallah.
You. Right. So,
my apologies.
Can we put ubiquitous on the screen? As that's the first one. Spell it. I dare you. All right. Well, let's move on to the next one. Right, Husky, be on point for this one. Yeah. All right. Next one. The one I had was I've got uniform. So I think when it comes to, first of all, big up to 𝐅𝐑𝐌 FF channel. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Brother 𝐅𝐑𝐌 FF channel is a follower of ours and a massive supporter of ours. So big up to our brother.
MashaAllah.
Wa alaikum salam. All right. So the first one we had was ubiquitous. Second one we have is uniform. All right. So I think when you're on the Dawah stall, you need to be presentable. All right. We've talked about being presentable. And I think one of the ways to be presentable is to have a uniform. Now, when we talk about uniform, I'm not saying that you have to be suited and booted, but I think that everyone who does the Dawah should be wearing the same clothes, same top, same hoodie, same T-shirt, whatever it is. So my next word is, well, it's actually the same word as uniform. Everyone's the same. And everyone's together in front of everyone, in front of the non-Muslims when you're telling them about Islam. Now, when I say uniform as well, I like to see different styles of uniform as well, yeah. And I've seen, mashallah, tabarakallah, you know, there's a lot of people around the world doing their Dawah tables. They've tried and they've done different uniforms they have. I saw the one in the brothers in Nottingham, all right. They've got like I think it looks like a basketball top, all right? Brother Haroon in Nottingham, he's got like a basketball top that they use. Now, I had an idea when we talk about uniform. So here in Newcastle, when we do our uniform, we have our hoodies, our IDC hoodies. We wear our IDC hoodies. On the back of it, it's got what's the score with Islam. You know, you've got your logo. People recognize you, and it's really good to have, brothers and sisters, because when you are giving Dawah consistently in and out, every week in, week out, people recognize you. Right? People recognize the badge, people recognize the logo, people recognize the stall, right? So you have to have that uniform. I think it's really good to have. I had an idea, and I think I'd like to see this.
Is this a world exclusive, yeah?
This is world exclusive, right? I had an idea, and I think I've mentioned it before. I'd like to see it fruition across the country, all right? More so in certain cities than others, all right? And I'll tell you why. some cities around the UK are very, they're like a footballing city, right? You would call them a football, like Newcastle is a footballing city, right?
Like Arsenal, London.
There you go, mate, right?
Not really, actually.
MashaAllah, tabarakallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Sheikh, how are you, brother? How's everybody?
Muhammad, how are you?
Alhamdulillah. I'm sorry for the attire. I'm just finishing off a workout, so I'm a bit...
Not at all, bro. That's your uniform, bro. That's your uniform.
Alhamdulillah. How are you guys doing? How's Brother Daniel? Is he frozen or what's happened?
Brother Daniel's frozen, mate. But it looks
He's shocked at the idea. Sohail's idea.
SubhanAllah, yeah. Let me just continue with my flow, right? 1 second.
Yeah.
Let me continue with my flow.
Yes.
You're right. So uniform, right? The uniform I'm talking about would be the with football strip, all right? But to have like, I don't know what I'd want on the back. I don't know how to put it on the back, but if I was gonna have it, you know, everyone's got like numbers on the back. I would put the number 1 on the back of the strip, right? And I would have like either one God maybe, or God is 1 on the back.
Okay.
What do you reckon?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I just clocked it. Okay. I like it, bro. MashaAllah.
Right. So anyway, that was my idea, right? So like I would say like football strips, but you don't have to have the actual football strip of the club. You get a strip that looks like it, and you can put something else that you want on the front, and then you can put the God is and the 1 on the back. Boom. That's my idea. Anyway, there's a comment. 1, be in uniform, same clothing, shirt, hoodies. Exactly. Agreed. Good. Alhamdulillah. So that was my idea. Uniform. Anyone want to add to that? Elaborate?
Well, adding to that word, bro.
Yo.
So we use in our Dawah conversation the word uniformity. So when we discuss, for example, the design argument, when we are discussing with atheists, and of course when we engage with atheists or those who, and even agnostics, so part of our intellectual proving that there's a creator, of course there's a many means. As we know, the Fitra methodology means that you can uncover the truth, and the truth is that there's a creator through various means, spirituality, your manners, but also when you're using rational arguments. One of the rational arguments is the design argument. And in the design argument, we use the word uniformity. When we explain to non-Muslims and atheists, and maybe they might be watching this, that when you just some cursory observation upon the universe, just our local solar system galaxy, there is a uniformity in this universe. And where there's uniformity, that means there's order, and where there's order, there's design, and there's a designer. So we use that in our discussion all the time, alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah. So going back to what you just said there, I would say another one would probably be an easier one for people to remember when it comes to Street Dawah is the word universe for you. All right. Use that in your Dawah. All right. So if anyone who's gone through the Go Rap approach, the Go Rap approach would be that you talk about God's existence, and what you tend to do in God's existence is you use what we call the design argument, where we show them how something like a mobile phone, something as simple as a mobile phone, or a building, or like Daniel likes to do a cake, right?
A what?
A cake.
A cake. All right.
Daniel, can you give your spiel? What do you normally say to people?
Well, you've summed it up really. I say to people, imagine if I give you a piece of cake, or to translate that for
cake of football.
A piece of cake, governor. A piece of cake, eh?
Is that Geordie accent? Cake. A cake. Oh, is it cake?
No, mate, it's a cake.
I gave you some jelly deals. I gave you some pie and mash, and you said to me, "It's a lovely bit of pie and mash. Who made that?" And I said, "Nobody made it, governor. It was just some liquor, some pie, and some mash. And over 1,000 years, they turned themselves into a nice plate of pie and mash. Would you Adam and Eve it?" He'd say, "No." And so on and so forth. We wouldn't believe something so simple as a cake or a plate of pie and mash could happen by accident. So we shouldn't believe the universe happened by accident. When we see beauty, when we see harmony, we instinctively know it's been designed. Absolutely. And that gets people's intellectual juices flowing, inshallah.
Yeah, that's it, man. So universe is another good one when it comes to Street Dawah, when it comes to the Street Dawah and talking to non-Muslims. U for universe as well. All right, good. MH10 has said appearances. is part of Islam hygiene, etc. Yeah, good. We're not doing A right now, bro, but it's a good point. Great. Tiny toy. Great. Right.
Random.
Wash hands, wash hands, wash hands. Yeah, I also agree with that. You know, you should be washing your hands
3 times.
All right, alhamdulillah. All right, so that's use. Anyone else got any use? Any more use?
Yeah, I had a couple. But unless the brother's got anything to say as well.
Brother Muhammad, you.
I think understanding the audience that you're talking to.
Nice.
Yes.
That's a very good one, bro.
Yeah.
Mashallah. Understanding. Very good and very important.
Mashallah.
Bismillah, bro. Elaborate further, please.
From my experiences, like being at Speaker's Corner, Stratford train station, now we're in Coventry City Centre. There's a Dawah store where I just kind of help out and record. And one thing I realized is the audience is like, don't judge a book by its cover. Sometimes you might have a sister who's a non-Muslim. By the appearance, you think that she has got no idea about Islam.
Yeah.
But wallahi, don't judge a book by its cover, because sometimes these sisters that you might think are dressed in a particular way have more knowledge about Islam than the person who's like modestly dressed, or a Muslim themselves sometimes on occasions, because they understand Islam and it makes sense to them. And you know, wallahi, what my experience, sorry brothers, I don't want to go on for too long, but my experience are the non-Muslim women are really drawn to Islam. The aspects of the women's role in Islam, they find that powerful because they've been told the opposite, but in reality is the other way around. But Islam empowers the woman with her rights, with her financial capabilities, her right over a spouse, her right over the children. And as we understand now that this is being lost, you know, from feminism and other, you know, organizations, they're trying to break the family structure. But yeah, the understanding the audiences and your clientele, for example, is very important.
Good, very good point, mashallah. Because Jazakallah khair, bro, for that one. Next one. Next, Danny, any more for you?
Umbrella, i.e., be prepared for any weather. We live in the UK. It's a country with unpredictable weather, so we can't let the weather put us off. You have to be ready for anything. If there's a hurricane or a torrential storm or something, obviously you might have to call it a day. But always bear the weather in mind. Us in Newcastle, when it's raining, we go to a sheltered area. That's how we deal with it. But be prepared for the weather. Take umbrellas, take a gazebo, whatever you need. Because if you're easily put off by the weather, you're not going to get much dawah done in Britain.
I like that. I like that a lot, mashallah. Good one. Alhamdulillah. All right, brilliant. Let's go to some of the audience. All right, universality. What do you mean by that? Or if you could clarify or maybe elaborate on that, that'd be interesting. Unless anyone else wants to take that one.
Well, I mean, I think if the sister's gonna, Sister Aina, I don't know if she's gonna come on the chat, or I don't want to take it away from her.
Yeah. We'll come back to it. Let's come back to it. Let's go to the next one. If Sister Aina could elaborate on that one, please. That'd be interesting to see what you mean and what you refer to when you say that. All right. Let's go to the next one. What we got? All right. I start with unicorns. Okay. Fantasy world fairy tales. I love to spoil fairy tales for people. Okay. All right. Interesting. So explain what we mean by that now.
It could be, I don't know if it's the same thing, but it could be that you know, this the spaghetti monster. So
all right. Okay. Yeah.
That kind of analogy. So you know, do you think that a spaghetti monster made existence and the world and the universe? It could be that. I don't know. But
so I was going to go with another one that could be similar to what the sister mentioned there. Sister Reba mentioned there. I was going to go with unconventional. All right. And what I mean by that is sometimes I think thinking out the box is a really good way of giving dawah. Right. Yes. Think outside the box when it comes to your dawah. Instead of just having the usual dawah stall, the table, and you've got a couple of booklets and leaflets on the table, think outside the box a little bit. And I'm going to go to Daniel now, Right, Danny's going to give us more information on an unconventional idea when it comes to dawah. Brother Daniel, tell everyone what we're doing here. That's going to be unconventional, bro.
Well, look at it this way, brothers. We have limited resources, and imagination is a substitute to some extent for abundant resources. We don't have all the resources we would like, but we do have our imaginations. So if we use our imagination, if we're unconventional, if we capture people's attention, we can achieve a lot even with limited resources. We want to see it into people's minds, concepts, images, teachings, and using innovative and thought-provoking techniques is a good way to do that. So imagination can be, to some extent, a substitute for limited resources. Grab people's attention, capture people's imaginations.
And we're doing something like that here, Danny. What's the project that you're putting together, bro?
Well, I don't want to keep banging on about it. I've already mentioned it already to try and drag Brother Nadeem into it. But basically, we've got a project coming up in June called Sweetness of Faith. And what we're going to do is we're going to make loads of small packages of sweets, like what people give out at weddings, like them little lace bags with 3 chocolates in, 3 like Cadbury's Miniature Hero, something like that.
Those really hot sweets that no one likes.
No, we're going to get nice sweets, inshallah. Not them sugared almonds or whatever people get at weddings.
Not wrong with them. They look like diamonds, bro.
And we're going to attach them to specially made leaflets. The media team at IDC have designed fantastic Sweetness of Faith leaflets, and they talk about the sweetness of Iman, what believing in Islam does to a person internally in this life and what it leads to in the life to come. So Sweetness of Faith, we're going to attach 2,000 leaflets to 2,000 packets of sweets, and we're going to give them out in one day from a specially made stall wearing specially made uniforms. Everything matches, everything is related to sweets and sweetness, and it's really going to grab people's attention, inshallah.
Inshallah.
So please make dua to success, guys.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right, good. Right, so unconventional, that was my one. Next.
Uncomfortable questions.
Ooh, nice.
In street dawah, in dawah in general, everyone should be prepared that uncomfortable questions will come to you. We are living in an age of uncomfortable questions. You know, people pushing shubahat and people putting doubts upon Islam, Islam and Muslims under attack. So as someone who's going to be involved in street dawah or was intending to be involved in street dawah, you should be ready for this. And in fact, if you can, get some training done. If you and when I say training, I actually now advise a few different types of training. So it's not just the conventional, ayah training, go out. That's essential, and also know about Allah and how to present Allah. But also, I think a lot of psychological training, meaning your mindset should be ready for all sorts of situations, right? Yeah. Is you're not just a robot outside and giving out flyers and talking and convincing people. You're someone who's going to connect with people, and so you should be ready. That you should be knowing that the society, you're going to get people ask questions about Islam, about Sharia, about about Muslims, about international politics. That's always, people will always bring that up, and then you've got to be ready for that, inshallah. And of course, we have our great device, which is the GORAP device, which is if an uncomfortable questions come to you, then you can, through the GORAP methodology, bring it back to the actual discussion, what we should be discussing about. And that's one way of dealing with that. And there's others as well, of course. But yeah, that's something I want to say.
I like that one a lot, bro. What's the most uncomfortable question you've had?
I don't get uncomfortable questions, bro. I make people uncomfortable.
There you go. What about you? I know you've had a few, mate.
Me or you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Oh, some I wouldn't even want to mention, to be honest. The better consigned of the past, but just the usual, just what anyone involved in dawah knows about. And some I find more difficult to handle than others. And to some extent, you've got to improve with experience. You get better at answering them as you go along. But as Brother Nadeem says, be prepared, of course, as well. Yeah.
I mean, look, the thing is, I know for a training point of view, we use the word uncomfortable question, but the thing is, the aqidah, the mindset of a Muslim who believes in Tawheed, he or she should not feel uncomfortable in any situation, right? I mean, one of the things I want to add to brothers and sisters, again, because I think one of the remits of the show is that we want to encourage people to get involved in calling to Allah, which is a beautiful action, a beautiful way of engaging dawah and stuff. But so you may think that, oh, I might get a question which I feel uncomfortable with, or which is very hard. Then we, from our salaf and from our tradition, we have something which is stick to what you know. If you do get an uncomfortable question, if you get a question that's difficult, don't blag it, don't wing it. You know, a lot of us did it. I used to do it 20 years ago, may Allah forgive me, just because you want to win the argument, right? Don't blag it, because it's a big thing. It's a big deal to make up something. If you do not know something, just say, I don't know. Just say, I don't know. Imam Malik, Imam the Salaf, these are big scholars. If they can say, I don't know, then I'm sure we can say, I don't know. So just
I do say, I add to that whenever I do my dawah training, and I always say,
very important.
If you don't know, say I don't know, but don't just leave it at that. Get the contact details of the person and say, you know what, I'll find out for you. I'll find out. If I get your contact details, your email address, and look, there's answers are out there. The answers are there, just that you didn't know what the answer was at the time, but the answers are out there. But I always say keep it simple anyway. My dawahs always try to be as simple as possible. Keep it directed. Keep it directed and focused on, calling to Allah and calling to worshipping Allah alone, and that's the key to it. To be honest with you, for me, that's always been the key to it all. Right, good. Jazakallah khair, brother Nadeem, for that one. All right, who have we got next? Let's go to the audience, and then I'm going to brother Muhammad. I'm going to come back to you for this one, the next one. All right, here's one. Someone took understanding from me. Very good. Talk dawah. Jazakallah khair for that. I think we mentioned understanding before. To have an understanding. Hold on. Let me go back to this one in a second. So I think we mentioned before about understanding. I think it's very important to have understanding, but also that you speak to people on their level. All right. We always teach in the Dawah training course, speaking to people on their level is about understanding. As Ali radiallahu anhu mentioned and said, speak to people on their level. Do you not wish that they understood like who Allah is and who the Prophet peace be upon him is? Do you not want them to know the truth? Yeah. So an understanding, and you know what? Just to add to that as well, brothers and sisters, and everyone who's listening, like understanding is one of those things where you've got to know your audience. All right, you really do have to know the person you're talking to and the people that you're talking to. This was the beauty of the Prophet ﷺ, yeah. The Prophet peace be upon him, when he talked to the kings, he would talk to them in a specific way. When he talked to the Bedouins, he would talk to them in a specific way because he had understanding. He knew his audience. Right, and it's all about knowing your audience, speaking to people on their level, and knowing who you're talking to, knowing what they're about, and finding out what they're all about. Like, for example, I'll give a recent example. I was talking to a guy about Islam and he had some issues that he was going through, right? But I could see that he was a very spiritual person, right? So in my head, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm not going to hit him with loads of these intellectual arguments. Really out there, really deep intellectual philosophical arguments, it's going to go over his head, right? So I spoke to him on a level that I believed he would understand better. And that's, again, like I said, that's what we talk about understanding. This is understanding your audience, understanding who you're talking to. That's the key for that one. All right, next. Brother Muhammad. Bismillah. Oh, your mic's muted, bro.
What was the question, Habibi?
Give me another you.
Oh, that's a very hard one now.
Okay, well, let's go to this one that brother, student of knowledge, put.
Yeah, very, very. To be honest, I was thinking about that, but I didn't want to take his. So I would say stick to like books. Like I got this one from Dar al-Islam. It's called Dawah According to Quran and Sunnah. It's a very old book, but it's just pure Quran and Sunnah. It's an authentic book, mashallah. I definitely recommend it. I actually bought this when I was when I went to do Hajj. It's still got the Arabic Riyal price tag on there. I've had this for about 10 years. So when you are gonna give dawah, make sure you have the correct information with you, and have a script. Always have a script and stick to this. What your brother mentioned there on the left. Sorry, brother, I didn't catch your name. That always come back to the basics. Try not to be taken away from the topic, like into political arguments and stuff like that. Always bring it, whatever resources you've got on your table, always stick to those kind of topics. So if you need to signpost, you can say, okay, here's a leaflet, take it away, read it, and come back next week and ask me questions regarding what you've just read. I think that's very beneficial because it gives you a time to recap on the information that you've given, and hopefully when they return, you'll have a suitable response for that.
Yeah.
Good, mashallah, I like it. Under-resourced, guys. Under-resourced. This is a big one for me, man. Because like, I think
the bane of your life, yeah,
bro. It's the bane of not just mine, bro, but I think a lot of dawah organizations, du'at out there. This is a huge one that I think it is unfortunately one of the. It's the nature of the beast. I think maybe at sometimes that we are under-resourced, we are underfunded when it comes to the dawah. Because like, I don't want people thinking. I mean, we're talking about street dawah here, right? So generally speaking, street dawah you can fund it. Okay, it doesn't take a lot to get a basic dawah table, a basic banner, bit of basic uniform here and there, whatever else. It doesn't take a lot, right? But it's when you want to take the dawah to the next level, right? And you will be like that, brothers and sisters who may be starting out to do dawah tables, and you're thinking about how can we take it to the next level, because you want to be doing that. First and foremost, the most important thing is that you're consistent. More than anything else, that you're consistent when it comes to the dawah table. When it comes to your street dawah, you're consistent. But there's always scope to make it bigger and better, all right? And if I look at our humble beginnings on our dawah table that we used to have in Newcastle, it was, one of them wallpaper tables, all right? It was really flimsy. It was really flimsy wooden wallpaper tables that you could literally snap, right? If you pushed it a bit too hard, yeah. Or if the wind was blowing a little bit too hard, it would snap.
No, they're so bad you can't find them anywhere, even in
Bro, you can't, not now. But we started with that. Then we moved to a stronger, sturdier table, and now we've got like a booth, right? So now, because like I said, you want to make it bigger and better. You want to improve. You want to get, you want to keep going bigger and better and expanding and developing it. And that's the good thing. If you've got a mindset like that, if you've got a growth mindset that you want to improve it, of course that's going to be part of it. So yeah, that was my that was what I wanted to add to under-resourced. I don't know if you guys have got anything else to add to that, guys.
I've just got one. Sorry, guys. Underrate. I'll just write this in here. Don't underrate your audience. Like I said, don't be fooled by people coming up to you, asking you genuine questions. Yeah. Don't prejudge people straight away. I know within a split second you've got to come from a particular angle, but if you're an open book, people will be able to read you and they find you sincere. But if you start judging people just upon their appearance or on the question and be sarcastic, that will take people away from the dawah. Yeah. Be like an open book, be truthful. If you don't know anything, put your hand up and say, look, I don't know, but I can get it back to you. Make sure. But what I find interesting is bringing the audience back for another session for a weekend. Like, for example, if you got a weekly dawah store, say, look, we'll be back here next week, come back and then, do some research yourself and then give the information, but don't underrate your audience. You know what I mean? Don't prejudge people.
Agreed massively. Alhamdulillah. Right, next brothers. Anyone else? Danny?
Yeah, I was going to say you for you, as in not me, i.e., if not you, then who? If that makes sense. Basically, what I'm trying to say is
not at all. It doesn't make sense. Explain yourself.
What I'm trying to say is, if anybody is watching or listening to this and they're thinking, I wish somebody would give dawah in my town, I wish somebody would give dawah in my country. Well, look at you. Think about you. What can you do? You're the person. If not you, then who? So stop waiting for other people to do it. Make a plan and organize and get it done. And, it might not be great at the start, but it'll get better as you go on. So if not you, then who? It's time for you to do.
That's excellent. That's good.
We'll take it. Alhamdulillah. Good.
Inshallah.
All right. Next, we got a guest.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Salam. We have Ortro in the house. Raise. All gentlemen, raise.
Portugal.
The Khalifa is here. All right,
What's
gentlemen.
your question, bro? What do you want to add to this?
Sir, can anyone talk with me in Urdu?
Yeah, Nadeem.
Yes, but do I want to speak in Urdu? That's
There you go. There you go.
Oh, you for Urdu?
Yes.
Look, I think the producers will let him in, so we'll have a word with them later. But yeah, Urturul Ghazi, सवाल पूछें लेकिन जवाब बहुत ही छोटा मिलेगा जल्दी से, राइट जी?
ओके, तो बहुत खुशी हुई आपसे बात करते हुए, क्योंकि आप पाकिस्तान से और हम कश्मीर से हैं। प्लीज दुआ फॉर अस।
ठीक है, सवाल है आपका कोई भाई?
हाँ भाई मैं चेंज होना चाहता हूँ, लेकिन पता नहीं कैसे मुझ में ये अनापरस्ती है ना, ये मुझसे छोड़ी नहीं जाती।
ओके ब्रदर, मैं ना ये इंग्लिश में ट्रांसलेट करूंगा और आप इंग्लिश समझ सकते हैं ना, सुन सकते हैं, राइट?
ओके,
ठीक है. So producers, if I can ask you to remove our beloved leader Ertugrul very nicely, and then I'll translate the question. The question is, brothers, he wants to change. So I'm assuming he's a Muslim and he wants to change. And he's basically asking, how can I change? So if any tips on, obviously we don't know. We have to understand our audience. Here we're just going on like something which we can guess. But I'm guessing the young lad from India, Pakistan, he's Muslim and someone who just needs to change, maybe start practicing Islam. So yeah, any ideas, any suggestions, Nasiha?
Brother Daniel, go ahead.
I mean, the change has already started, bro, because the fact that you're wanting to change, the fact that you want to actually start making a change in your life, that's where it starts, right? So you've already started this process. Now, we know the hadith where the Prophet ﷺ told us that Allah, when we go towards Allah, Allah comes towards us, right? So you're making the right steps. Continue to make those steps. My biggest advice for you, brother, would be to forget about everything except for this. Just start focusing on your relationship with Allah, right? Your relationship with Allah is the most important thing. Forget about everything else that's going on in your life. Focus on your relationship with Allah, all right? And what I mean by that is, I mean your salah, your dua, your dhikr, your knowledge of who Allah is. This is what you should be focusing on. Focus on the tawheed of Allah, knowing Allah. Because when you know Allah, you're going to fall in love with Allah, right? You're going to focus all your efforts on Allah. And I think most brothers and sisters who wanted to change their life started here about knowing who Allah is, learning about Allah. And once you do that, then everything else falls into place after that. Don't worry about all the rest of the things. Everything else is noise. The most important is your relationship with your Lord. And just focus on that, and everything else, inshallah, by His will fall into place. And Allah knows best. That would be my advice. Guys, give me something else, bro. You go quiet.
Sure. I would say, brother, it's also sticking with good company. I think that's very important, that you associate yourself with good people who call to good, who call to, like, let's go to the masjid, let's go and learn. Let's do halal things. I'm not saying don't have fun. Yes, go out with your friends, play football or whatever, but they are within the boundaries of keeping it halal. I think these days, he sounds like a young lad, maybe in his teens, and I can understand it's totally hard with social media and everything else, and you're always drawn to haram aspects and stuff, and it's beautified for you. That is easy for you to attain and go towards. I think if you stick with righteous people, watch these YouTube channels and learn and go to the masjid, learn. That's probably the best way I find, and always understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching you. The taqwa is very important. If this is advice to myself first, we have whispers all the time, but think that Allah is watching you all the time. So have that conscious, just like the CCTV. Wherever you go, there's CCTV. Somebody's watching you. Imagine you're in the room and there's a CCTV camera in there, and there's chocolates and there's sweets and there's money. You know somebody's watching you. You're not going to take it. because you know you're going to get caught red-handed. Have the same mentality as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching you 24/7. Okay, there's no blip in the system. There's not going to be no power circuit or fuse going. You have to be mindful that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching you. And like I said, this is advice to myself first. You know, I fall short also, and we all do. But we all have to have this understanding that, you know, we have to turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when we have fell into like a shortcoming or a sinful act, that we return in repentance, and Allah will forgive you, inshallah ta'ala.
Can I move on to my next you?
Yeah.
All right, it's Danny's face, uninterested.
I'm totally engrossed. I was listening to every word everyone was saying.
I'm just messing with you. My next you would be uninterested.
Unfair. That was unfair. That's what that was, bro.
Well, that's another good one.
Uncalled.
All right, let me go with uninterested, yeah? What I mean by uninterested is when you're giving dawah, like, be engaged with the person you're giving dawah to, all right? Do not look like you are uninterested when you're talking to them. It's like, you know, you're just staring into the void, you know, giving them a blank stare. You're actually, you know, engaging with them. So that would be my you. Continue.
I think you made a very good point, brother. I know some of us brothers, when we're in the dawah scene, a sister might come up to us, especially a non-Muslim, and we start looking like down at her feet, for example, out of respect. This is out of respect, you know, because we have some haya, we have some, you know, shyness about us, or we look towards the right or whatever, we even look to the sky. But sometimes it's good to make eye contact with the person that you are but wear sunglasses, actually. That's probably what I normally do, is wear sunglasses even when it's cloudy. So what I try to do is like, I have like, I'm looking at the person, or because I've got sunglasses on, this is my secret. But in reality, maybe I'm looking somewhere else because out of my haya. Do you know what I mean? So yeah,
we know what you mean, brother. We know what you mean. Yeah.
I've been exposed.
Just on that point, like when you are speaking to sisters, don't like non-Muslim women, don't be like that. Yeah, let's keep it as possible. Yeah.
Not too much eye contact if you're single, because
there you go. Even if you're married, bro.
Yeah, but I think we have to have this interaction. Yeah, we have to have this kind of interaction. I think that's what will, you know, help you engage with the audience. Eye contact. Even when you're giving a speech or a presentation, we are told when you stand up to give even a khutbah, you know, you're not gonna, when the audience is in front of you, you're not gonna like just like look at your piece of paper and not even engage with the audience. You've got to engage with the audience. Yeah. You know, otherwise the audience will just fall asleep. So even for us.
So talking of engaging with the audience, do we have any audience?
Yes, we do. Sorry, so we do have a few comments. Okay. Universal truth. This brother Hassan's put this one 3 times. Yeah, he keeps on putting this one up. Yeah. All right. Good. Universal truth. There was another comment that went with it, right? On the universal truth. I saw another comment.
Universality, maybe, I think.
No, there was a comment that no. There was a comment before. Where's the comment gone? All right, Husky.
Unicorns.
There, man. What are you doing? Right. Universal truth. They do not change whatever happens. Yeah. So there's certain universal truths which you can use in your dawah when you're talking to people. And I think the good thing of using universal truth. Give me an example of a universal truth, guys.
Creator exists.
La ilaha illallah.
Give me an example of a universal truth that a non-Muslim will, both you and a non-Muslim will accept.
Well, the existence exists. The world is real.
Right, good. The world is real. Yeah. 1 + 1 is 2. I don't know. What else is there? There's
time exists. Space. All the axioms, isn't it? All the axiomatic truths.
What's the other one? Like a half is greater than a. What was it? Half is less than a full, or whatever it is.
Hafiz. Which Hafiz are? Oh, half.
A part is less than a day and night. A part is less than a whole. That kind of stuff. Yeah, there's certain universal truths, and what you use when you talk about universal truths is what you can do. Then is use that as a way of going. We're going to use our rational mind to come to certain conclusions. All right. There are certain things we're going to come to conclusions on, and that's when you use the go wrap approach from there. All right. Good.
Yep. Very good. I've got another one for you. it's a cheeky one, but let me see if I can articulate it. Basically, it's Uber da'i. So don't become an ordinary da'i, but try and become an Uber da'i. And what I mean by that,
in your car, giving dawah materials in the car.
That as well, yeah. But I was thinking Uber with the as in like cool. So you know, or a level up. So a lot of du'at and street dawah, and there's nothing wrong with that. Some brothers are the same style. Maybe their presentation of Islam is very simple. But I think, you know, mashallah, watching you brothers on screen and other brothers du'at, maybe try and get to that level. You know, maybe always level up.
Level up
in terms of knowledge,
like
in terms of creativity, in terms of making your arguments more, maybe more analogies, you know, because I do know some brothers, they do the same thing again and again. There's nothing wrong with that. I personally am a guy of variety. I like variety. I don't like the same thing again. So always try and, you know, and as a Muslim, I guess it's linked with ihsan, excellence. So we should always be, you know, we should be seeking knowledge anyway, right? It's a fard, and we should be knowledge for not just, even if we're not involved in dawah, we should be seeking ilm, right? Of Allah, of Tawheed, of the Hadith sciences, of Quranic sciences, Arabic, but also in the dawah. So, for example, if you're someone that uses the Quranic argument for God's existence, or the other it's called origins of the universe argument, then you can maybe look at a design argument. Maybe, you know, learn about that. Maybe that will be more effective. If you are proving the Quran in a certain way, maybe you're talking about the prediction of the Quran, then maybe learn about the linguistic miracle, you know, the rhetorical devices, the grammatical shifts. So try and become an Uber da'i, inshallah.
I like that. MashaAllah. Tabarakallah. Jazakallah khair for that one. Alhamdulillah.
And Daniel's going to the dark side, bro. Retreated into the dark.
You're right, mate.
It's like a... and he appears.
The heck was that? Honestly, someone read Isaac. What is someone read in his house, man? Play Surah Baqarah. All right, where are we? Where are we? Let's go with next. Any more audience from the audience? Any more comments? Any more news?
There's one from Hajar Tariq. He's made a very good.
Let's go with this one first, bro. Because Fatima says unity of God, Ummah, universal balance, understand Islam, ultimate goal. These are all really good ones. You know which one I was going to pick on? I was actually going to pick on,
the unity of God is the old Salafi retreat. Where do you go?
No, I was going to go with Ummah, right? But it's kind of why, because I had unity written down as well anyway. But I want to go with Ummah and Ummah and what did you say? Yeah, Ummah and unity. All right. Now, why do I want to talk about this one? Because all right, this might sound controversial. I hope it doesn't. But I think it's important that on your dawah table, on your dawah team, you have to have people who are like-minded, a level of unity. All right, because you're not going to be able to really work well together and gel together if there is no unity within your team. There has to be a level of unity within your team. And the way you get that is by having people who are like-minded with each other. You get people who are of the same understanding, the same wavelength, like myself and Danny.
Theological viewpoint.
Even that as well. Even that as well, bro. Even that as well is important because it all comes into play when you give dawah, right?
Yeah.
And if you have different, what's the word? If you have different ideologies, different opinions, and there's nothing wrong having different opinions, of course. But you know, if your foundations are a bit you know, not the same, you have different opinions on stuff all the time, different ways of thinking, that can cause issues. So yeah, my other one would be unity or ummah is a very good one.
The brother's got his shades on, that means he's looking somewhere else, but nodding to you.
You're gonna get me in trouble, Habibi.
You're gonna get me. Secrets, bro. We know you. We know the
I'm interested. No, good points, mashallah. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, good. Next, who do we have next? I'm running out. I think I'm conscious of time, so I'm looking at some of the other comments. Do we have another one?
Hajar has made a very good point there.
Let's go with that one then. Update your knowledge or be up to date. Very good point, Sister Hajar. I think again, brilliant point to be honest with you. Always, you know, when it comes to dawah, it's not about just I know enough. That's it. I'm done. No, continue to develop, continue to learn, continue to update your skills, update your knowledge, update your understanding. We're always learning, brothers and sisters. Seriously, we're always learning. I know Danny is. Danny.
What?
What's going on?
What's your comments? What's your thoughts on this one, bro? Don't just sit there like a wooden doll.
I'm just taking it all in. I'm just enjoying the show, mashallah.
Man, you're Raj Pasti. You're here to actually comment and contribute.
Okay, well,
remember, you're on the panel.
I've got another
Comment on this one first, man.
Update our knowledge.
Why? This guy, man.
Well, okay. Well, are you gonna let me speak then? Okay, update our knowledge or be up to date. Well,
how are then?
I think one always has to strike a balance because you notwithstanding everything Nadeem just said about being an Uber die, which I think is fantastic. One mustn't spend an excessive amount of time reading about physics and philosophy if that means one's heart going hard and forgetting the Quran or forgetting the basic teachings of Islam. And everyone's different, but you've got to strike a balance. You've got to be sincere. You've got to know yourself and really try and get that balance right. Yes, know about the world, but not at the expense of knowing about the deen, because you can't call to something that you're not really living yourself. And you can't really live Islam if you're not studying it quite seriously. So yes, know about the world, know about the culture in which you're living, know all of those things, but not at the expense of knowing about the deen. Always try and get the balance right. And it's difficult, but it's a work in progress, inshallah.
Good. Jazakallah khair. I like
but
that.
I've got another you.
Go on.
Up. I.e., always emphasize that Islam is the path to physical, mental, and spiritual elevation. It's not a path of self-mortification and self-humiliation. Islam is really the means by which somebody can be dragged from the dhulumat ila nur, from the darknesses of this worldly existence to the light, Allah. So up, Islam is the path up. Emphasize that, and I think that will capture a lot of people's imaginations, inshallah.
Good. Very good one. All right, I think we've got one last comment. All right, Ayman says, giving dawah unconditionally means no matter what circumstances may come in your way or no matter how busy your daily routine is, never quit giving dawah. Manage your dawah schedule along with your routine, but never ever leave it. Unconditional. Yeah, I like that one. I think that's a very important aspect of our dawah. Is, as I mentioned before, the dawah needs to be consistent. We need to be consistent in our dawah, because like I said, if you're doing the dawah still in the same place, same time, week in, week out, people recognize you. People will recognize you. They'll know that you're the same people that are there every week. It's like them guys who have like the pickets, like the Christian guys who have like the big sign, right? And they're always there, right? They're always there. You see them carrying it around everywhere. On a Saturday, you'll notice them. They're always there, but they're consistent, right? They're doing it all the time, right? And another, I'm not saying we can take a lesson from them, but it's something that I think when you look at it, you kind of go, that's quite clever.
They're consistent in their battle, yeah.
It's the Jehovah's Witnesses, guys. The Jehovah's Witnesses, you always see them day in, day out, not week, day in, day out. In Newcastle, in particular, at the metro stations, they've got their small stall with them, and they're giving dawah.
It's a consistent delusion, bro.
Yeah, of course it is, but it's giving dawah, their dawah unconditionally. They're always there doing it. Yeah. So yeah, good one there, alhamdulillah. All right. Anyone else want to comment on that?
Not on that. I've got one last one.
Go on.
But something which is upmanship. So basically a situation where you are trying to prove yourself better than the other person. In the dawah, a lot of people, they think, okay, we have a lot of respect, and then there's lots of khair from Speaker's Corner. But I think those who are mature in the dawah know that Speaker's Corner is just one element, one style.
Yeah.
And the thing is, though, they see what the camera shows. And what, unfortunately, a lot of youth take over is that I need to put another person down So, and I need to win the argument. I need to, you know, be the best person and say, look, I destroy that Christian, I destroy atheist. So this is something which is very dangerous, right? We're here to win hearts, not arguments. There is a place where we need to show the superiority of Islam, of course, but never at the expense of trying to be, you know, the superior person. Because what happens with that? I mean, it's not good for the dawah. It's not good for the heart of the person that's engaged in dawah. Because if you're always going to, if your style is only to show that you are the best debater and you're amazing putting people down and mocking them, then your heart's going to be ruined by that. You're going to develop diseases of heart. So so that's something we should be wary of. Upmanship.
Agreed. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Jazakallah khair. Any more from anyone else before we get ready to end this stream? Oh, explain how Islam is universal. Good, and we mentioned that as well. Not confined to an ethnicity or race or area. Good point. Jazakallah khair. Ihtisham for that. Alhamdulillah.
Yep.
We had Ubadai. Okay, good.
That's with the U with the 2 dots on top, yeah. So.
All right, yeah, okay. All right, guys. On that note, we'll finish there. Jazakumullah khairan, brother Muhammad. Appreciate you coming and joining us on the stream, bro. Jazakallah khair. Brother Daniel, jazakallah khair. Brother Nadeem, jazakallah khair. Last final words from you all. Let's go with brother Muhammad.
Alhamdulillah, jazakumullah khair for having me. Nice to meet you once again. Inshallah, we got a podcast tomorrow, haven't we? With Sheikh Nasser.
Okay, mashallah.
The blank face. We've got on Stream Islam. We've got a podcast tomorrow. I think 4 to 5 with Sheikh Nasser.
Here on Stream Islam.
Yes.
I don't know, bro. I don't. That's Hassan's area. I don't know. Just
okay. Alhamdulillah.
You for unprofessional. You don't know.
No, but thank you guys. Appreciate it for having me. Inshallah.
Okay, bro. Appreciate it. Alhamdulillah. Daniel.
Once again, lovely to see everybody. A pleasure to address the audience and talk about this really important topic. Alhamdulillah, may Allah make us all uber du'at. Amen.
Amen. Brother Nadeem, close it off, bro, because I've got to quickly dash somewhere. But guys, Jazakumullah khair. Sorry, there's someone at the door. Sorry, guys. Jazakumullah khair. Nadeem, I'll let you finish it off, bro.
Okay, inshallah. Yeah, Jazakallah brothers who are here on the panel, Jazakallah the producers, and Jazakallah for everyone who's tuning in. I know in the UK it's nearly 7:15 in the evening, but I know a lot of people, especially in Pakistan, it's around 11:30, 12. So may Allah reward you for tuning in, and I hope that you guys try and come it's not gonna be every week. I think we'll do twice a month, inshallah. So do come in, and I would say that don't be shy in trying to come on the stream. The more brothers and sisters come on stream, the more we can interact and the more we can learn and improve each other, inshallah. So yeah, jazakallah everyone, and subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu la ilaha illa anta wa astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.